Okay, let's go.
Greetings, my Chime Squires. Today is finally the day I get to show you the summer update for Knights of the Last Stand. And yes, I know some of you are probably a little confused right now, because why are there suddenly two different game builds available to download? What exactly happened? Did Kuzak break something again? Well, yes, kind of. But before we dive in the update itself, I need to tell you the story behind one of the biggest and honestly scariest decisions I've ever made during this project development. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. I am a solo developer making a dark fantasy action game that somehow ended up being filled with beautiful half-naked men. If that sounds like your kind of evening, definitely check out my other videos. But today let's talk about everything that happened to the project this summer. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with endless programming lecture or explain every line of code. Neither of us wants that. Instead, I show you the fun stuff. Although, we should probably start with the bad news. I rebuilt this game from scratch. Yes, completely. Every time I say this word out loud, I still feel like anxious, because writing the entire game usually sounds like the beginning of a horror story. The problem was I simply ran out of alternatives. When we first started making calls several years ago, I wasn't the one writing the code, and my programmer at the time had literally just opened Unreal Engine for the first time. We are young, extremely motivated, ridiculously overconfident. Eventually, the entire project became my responsibility. For the last several years, I've been developing calls completely on my own. I learned how to animate, write code, build gameplay systems, but one problem never disappeared. The old architecture kept fighting me every single time I wanted to make a major change. Adding a new mechanic became a battle, changing one ability usually broke something completely, and the further development went, the more obvious it became one day I have to tear everything down and start over. The funniest part? That's exactly when I decided to start this YouTube channel. Brilliant timing. Rewrite an entire game, learn how to make videos, speak English on camera, and somehow stop being embarrassed by my own face. Absolutely flawless plan. Looking back, I might have taken on a little too much, because honestly, writing code is such easier for me. I can spend 8 straight hours inside Unreal Engine without even noticing the time. But writing a script like this, sometimes it felt harder than rebuilding half the combat system. The problem is, it doesn't matter how good your game is if nobody knows it exists. That's why I keep making these videos. Sometimes I record the exact same sentence 10 times, like now. But I really want to share this project with as many people as possible. Around the same time, another huge change happened. I quit my day job. Now, Knights of the Last Stand is my full-time job, which sounds incredibly exciting and absolutely terrifying at the same time, because now this project depends entirely on me. So if you ever thought about supporting the game, this is probably the best time to do it. Every bit of support literally helped me keep working on calls every single day. So why are there two builds now? The answer is actually pretty simple. While the original version of the game still exists, I've been rebuilding a completely new one from the ground up. And the very first thing I decided to rewrite was the combat system, because honestly, it was driving me insane. The old system forced me to compromise every time I wanted to add something new. A new ability doesn't have workarounds. A better blocking mechanic, sometimes else immediately explodes. It constantly felt like I was wrestling with my own game instead of building it. But now I can finally create the combat system I always wanted. And yes, I can finally make beautiful half-naked men do exactly what I want. Honestly, that's probably the biggest advantage of making your own game. The new build is called Combat Demo. Right now it features the Paladin, a couple of enemies, and a brand new combat system. But that's only the beginning. This will eventually become the main version of the game. Every night, every mechanic, every story mission, every future update, everything will move here. And the best part, it's actually working. I honestly expected this process to take months longer than it was. Instead, development is moving faster than I ever imagined. And for the first time in a very long time, I truly feel like the project is finally heading in the direction it was always meant to go. Now that we'll talk about the new build, let me introduce you two new enemies. And yes, these ones are actually mine. No more marketplace assets, no more stocked characters. These are the first fully original enemies I created specifically for the Knights of the Last Stand. Meet the Infernal Cult. They are one of the 5 major enemy factions you encounter through the world of calls. Yep. We taking this world very seriously. We've got lore, politics, religion, different faction, betrayals, plot twists, and of course an unhealthy number of attractive men, exactly as intended. Now I have to admit, these guys aren't exactly genius yet. Sometimes their AI makes some questionable life choices, but honestly, I always had a soft spot for pretty boys who aren't particularly bright, so I let them live for now. Sometimes I still can't believe I actually opened an empty Unreal project and started building the entire game again from scratch. Thankfully, all the 3D models, animation, UI, music, and art were already finished, but almost all of the gameplay code had to be left behind. Basically, I'm rebuilding the foundation that the entire game will stand on. And naturally, there are still plenty of bugs. Right before I released this update, I rebuilt the project 3 separate times because every time I fix it one bug and another and another. Welcome to game development. That's exactly why I need your help right now. If you get a chance to download the combat demo, please do break it, experiment with it, try doing things that absolutely shouldn't work, and if something explodes, tell me. The sooner I hear about the problem, the sooner I can fix it. And if you have ideas for improving the combat, even better, because honestly, I didn't want to build this game completely alone, but I'm the one who making the characters, but the game isn't just for me, it's for everyone who going to play it. Some of the best ideas I ever received came directly from the community. So if you would like to help shape the future of calls, come join to my Discord. Alright, let's talk finally about the actual news. At first glance, it might not look like much has changed. It's still the same paladin, still carrying his enormous sword. But under the hood, almost everything is brand new. Nearly every ability has been rebuilt from scratch. Some abilities now have multiple activation stage. I've added entirely new mechanics and brand new active skills, running attacks, jump attacks, and most importantly, the entire combat system was designed with future expansion in mind. The old abilities were basically dead ends. They did one thing, and that was it. There was now almost no room to expand or customize them. But I want players to build their own version of each knight. That's why every ability will eventually have multiply upgrade, different modifiers, different playstyles. One player might build an ultra-aggressive paladin, someone else might create an unstoppable tank, and someone will almost certainly figure out how to turn him into an absolute menace. The engine finally let me do all of this without constantly fighting against its own limitations. And this doesn't only apply to the player, the enemies have also been completely rebuilt. They now have new AI, new ability systems, new behavioral logic. Internally, they're much closer to the knights themselves, which means I can create much more interesting encounters in the future. Speaking of enemies, I actually love to hear your opinion. What kind of combat do you enjoy more? Would you rather fight huge hordes of enemies and cut your way through entire armies? Or would you prefer every enemy to feel like a dangerous duel when every one mistake could get you killed? like in Dark Souls? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what you prefer. And yes, I know some of you probably aren't even paying attention to the new combat system. You're looking at other parts of certain character. Well, I didn't spend all the time implementing physics for nothing. And yes, I know some of you probably aren't even paying attention to the new combat system. You're looking at other parts of certain. Well, I didn't spend all that time implementing physics for nothing. And speaking of unexpected surprise, there's one feature that I wasn't ever planned. If you've been following the project for a while, you might remember that calls used to have two separate versions. One was censored, and other that was correct one. Eventually, I got rid of the censored build because maintaining two different versions of the same game was a complete nightmare. Problem solved, or so I thought. Then I started taking YouTube seriously. Problem solved, or so I thought. Then I started taking YouTube seriously and suddenly censorship became a thing again. Turns out showing half-naked men on YouTube can be complicated. So I accidentally stumbled onto that I think is the perfect solution. Now there's a tiny little option right in main menu. One click and every character in the game suddenly remembers that clothes exist. Click it again and they immediately decide they're overrated. So now everyone can play the game however they prefer, and I no longer have to maintain two completely different builds. Honestly, I'm pretty proud of how elegantly that worked out. So that's the summer update. At the first glance, it might not seem like the biggest update I ever released. It's still the same paladin, still the same enormous sword, but underneath the surface, this is an entirely different game. For me, it is probably the most important update Calls has ever received. Not because it adds the most content, but because it gives the project something much more valuable, a solid foundation. Instead, I finally get to focus on what I actually love doing. Creating new kings, designing new enemies, building new stories, and making this world bigger with every update. There is still an absurd amount of work ahead of me. New character, new bosses, new location, new story, more mechanics, more beautiful men, and honestly, I can't wait to build all of it. If you like to be part of that journey, download the combat demo, break it. Find bugs. Tell me what it feels good, tell me what feels terrible, share your ideas, because right now your feedback can genuinely shape the future of this game. If you'd like to support the project, you'll find all the links in the description of my profile. And if you can support it financially, that's completely okay. Leaving a comment, sharing the video, or simply telling a friend about Calls helps more than you probably realize. Every single interaction tells YouTube that this weird little game about handsome knights deserves to reach more people. Thank you for watching. Thank you for believing in this project. And thank you for walking this road with me. Now, if you excuse me, I have a very important job yet to back to. Making beautiful half-naked men fighting each other. Strictly for game development purpose, obviously. See you in the next video.